the thing that always strikes me about the services procurement side of it is companies are always surprised at how big the benefits are. But what I think they're underestimating is this is greenfield. Like if you're looking at a contingent workforce program, the incremental increase in benefits you get by going from Gen 1 to Gen 2, they're never going to be, they're always going to diminish. And that side of the workforce solutions industry is more mature. It's not completely mature. There's always room for growth. There's always room for improvement. But for a lot of organizations, it's kind of been ground down to smaller amounts. With services procurement, just the risk, the cost, the efficiencies, benefits, people are shocked by that. So if they understood that in advance, the idea of bringing in an intermediary to get them moving, make it happen, and the benefits, just it's a no-brainer, really.
Well, and to your point, like, so I came from a traditional category management sourcing role into managing the strategic programs. The first 3 to 6 months of my time was getting my feet under the ground, learning about the vendor management system, learning about the MSP. I knew what they were before, right? We utilized them within the company. And from a procurement perspective, I knew that we were putting them into the system. But beyond that, like I said, it's a very much transactional procurement, some strategic sourcing aligned with our business partners. But if it went into Oracle or if it went into the vendor management system, for process and payment and management, that didn't matter to me. Now, for me, it was like, I don't have to worry about that, because I can get the spend either way. And beyond that, I don't need to know. But, managing the program itself, it was like, it's kind of eye-opening, right? You get in there and you're like, well, there's so much more kind of behind the curtains, right? Or it's the duck on the pond. The duck looks calm and he's floating around, but there's so much going on underneath that you never see, right? Like that he's just paddling along to move here to there. So that's what, for me, it's an education piece, right? I think that's the biggest issue that companies have is they see the benefits from a staff aug firm or staffing kind of setup with the VMS, but they don't realize that from an operational perspective and just a tactical transactional perspective, you have all those exact same benefits on the services procurement side, in addition to just being able to see that spend, see the outcomes, then drive more outcome-based strategic decisioning with your internal stakeholders to say, hey, look, we're now actively managing the supplier. We see that there are concerns. They're late on pay, they're late on invoices, they're late on the milestones. They consistently had multiple changeovers for the scope. Now, why is that happening? Oh, well, did we actually change scope, or was it just really poorly defined up front? So you're able to really dive into that information and enable your business, honestly, to be, and your procurement teams to be better partners.
Yeah, and I think, the fact that the MSP intermediaries, like Pontoon, bringing in your expertise, they're looking to take it to the next level. And being able to provide that to their customers, it can this is where you're getting into closing the loop around your workforce ecosystem, your total workforce, your total capacity and capability management as an organization. And I applaud the organizations that are bringing in genuine procurement expertise like yourself to do that, because it's recognizing that as an organization, they've got some brilliant operations stuff in place. They've got all the fantastic ability to bring in technology and to make the processes work. They're absolute past masters at that. And all of the contingent workforce and the other hiring side of it is a really efficient machine in a lot of cases. But this services procurement area is different enough, it's big enough, it's complicated, it's important enough. Being able to bring in expertise like yourself really does change the game in terms of what the organization that's bringing you in is buying is the ability to bring in someone who's done it before and say, okay, you got all these great benefits, now help me get these great benefits. And that's really where the kind of the business case justification comes into it. And I would argue that, as we said at the beginning of this kind of little segment where we were talking about this, for the people that say we're just going to do it ourselves, it's very, very rare to see anything even start to happen. So for most organizations, I think they would benefit from sitting down with somebody like yourself, hearing about your journey, and telling you all of their woes, telling you what their company's doing, and what you asking them, how do you manage this? How does this work? How does that work? And I've seen it many times in some of the conversations you and I have had with customers and prospects, and other conversations that I have in the market. The light bulbs start going off in people's heads. Actually, hang on a minute, there's this as well, which is a total nightmare for us, or our CEO is really trying to drive this, and until we get this sorted, we can't manage that. It's definitely a conversation that becomes logical, but people need to actually be able to talk to somebody like yourself about the reality of it, I think.